Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 53rd of solving the object-oriented programming questions with the help of Python. If you are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So guys, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming. We did a very basic question. We started from a very basic question and then we move on to day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 with an increasing level of questions. Then we move on to different types of concept of object oriented programming and we have been discussing each and individual concept with number of types of questions. So we have done question based on inheritance. We have covered types of inheritance including multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and so on and so forth. We have discussed so many concepts and we have already discussed what is super function. We have done question based on it, and then we have also done object instances, and then we created a list and we did question based on list too. And this was a very brief introduction of what we have been doing and what we have done so far. Moreover, we will be covering all the we will be trying to cover all the topics of object oriented programming, and we will be doing more question based on each individual concept. So guys, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. So I introduced the concept of polymorphism in my playlist on day 51, where we solved a question, very basic question on object of polymorphism, and then we have increased the bar of it, and then we did another question based on polymorphism, and yet I have prepared another question based on polymorphism for day 53rd. So let's start this tutorial with the question: create a class hierarchy with class base, game, and two subclasses, action game and strategy game. So let's do this step by step. So first of all, I would means I hope that you guys can do it on your own. So the guys who have been watching my tutorials and who knows what polymorphism, and I expect from you guys that you can solve it on your own. However, if you are not able to solve this question and try it once, there is nothing wrong in it, that if you're not getting the answer, I would appreciate the guys who have been struggling and then again they have solving. Means trying the question is the key. So if you just practice and practice and practice, and before you uh, practice and practice and practice, and if you are not getting the answer, that is not the problem. You will get it, you will get it eventually. So uh, please try it on your own first. That's the key point here. Try it on your first, try it, try all the question on your own first, then you can just follow my tutorial, because the question is already displayed on the screen. So because when you do the questions, you will be knowing your level of the understanding of the logic. And if you just follow my tutorial and you will be just copy pasting it, you will be developing some understanding. However, you will be not knowing your uh, real clear real level of your real level of yours. So let's start this tutorial without any wasting time. So let's create a parent class, and then the class has a name called game, class game, and then we have def function called play, and it will be taking self here, and I will be just passing this value because it will be overriding. So we will be overriding this part, this method. So we have two base classes, game, we have a base class game and two subclasses, action game and strategy game. Implement a method called play in the each class. Demonstrate polymorphism by creating an array of game objects including instances of both action game and strategy game, and calling the play method and on each object. So this is the repetition of the logic we have done earlier, and I'm just doing it with some different class. So I will be just doing it quick in a in more quicker way. So let's create a child. So because I expect that you have already understood this concept, and I will be just doing it because I expect you guys have already understand this. So let's create a child class called action game first, and class action game, since it's a method, or since it's a class which is a child class. So we will be closing it by parentheses, and inside those parentheses we will be putting the name of the parent class, and then we will be returning, we will be creating a method called def, and the def play, and then we will be closing it by parentheses again, and inside those parentheses we will be putting self here, and we will be printing a value called uh, playing playing an action game. So this was very simple. Now let's, you can put more you can put more logic here, but I'm just putting a print value here that is saying that playing an action game, and then I can create a child class called what name, it's the strategy game, and then I can just put it like class strategy game, and then close it by parenthesis, since it's again the method, since it's again the child class which is inheriting from again the same parent class, that is game, and then it has the same method called play, and then I will be writing in this method print me a value called I am playing strategy game, and then I can just simply create instance. So in this instances we have to create objects, means we have to create objects, and those objects should be in a list, and then we have to run a loop, I guess. Let's see, including instance of both action game and strategy. So implement a method called play in each class, demonstrate a polymorphism by creating an array of game objects including instances of both action game and strategy game, and calling the play method on each object. So let's say action game is equals to action game, and then I can just create another object here that will be our strategy game. I just strategy strategy game is equals to strategy game, then close it by parenthesis, since it's a since it's a class here. So strategy game is, we have created an instance of strategy game. We can write one here if you want, then you can create another instance for our action game class. These two are instances which are two different instances for two different classes. Now we have to create a loop. Let's say we have games, let the games be games is equals to we will be just putting these games into our list form. So these two instances will be in our list, which will this container games container will be holding. So we will be just saying a strategy game 1, and then we can just run a loop. Let's say, saying that for game in games, we can just say for game in games, just say game dot play, and this is all in it. And then I can run this code, and we will be getting playing an action game, I'm playing a strategy game. So this was all in this tutorial, and this was all in this question. And now as you can see that polymorphism allow us to use means with the help of polymorphism we can use the code. We can just apply the code in a more flexible way, or the code can be reused again and again, and it just allow us to use the write the less number of code, while we were just writing more number of lines, lines of code. But now we can, as you can see, in single line we just are returning more number of uh, lines. So we are writing less but we are getting more. So previously we were writing more and we were getting less, but now with the help of polymorphism we are overriding, and we can just we can run a loop, and then we are getting more output with writing less number of codes. So this is what the polymorphism allow us to do. So I hope now you are able to, now you can relate the polymorphism which we have discussed on day 1 of our polymorphism on day 51, where we have introduced the concept of polymorphism. So this was all in this tutorial. I hope that you have understood the concept today, and you are slowly and gradually developing the concept of polymorphism. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial on day 53rd, and see you next time.